All right, and welcome to the basic configuration. I did say 2 routers, but I said, nah, let's go ahead and put in 3 routers. All right, because when we start doing the static routes later on, we're going to play around with a little bit more routes. All right, so what do we have here? Let's take a look at our topology. We have 3 PCs. These are the subnets, right? The 192.168.1.0, 2.0, and 3.0. Here we got 2 networks up here. We have the 10.1.1.4 and the 10.1.1.8. Now, as you can see, I'm using serial connections between routers. I'm using 1841 routers, all right? And on the first router, right, you see the serial 010, and here on the second router, serial 010. You have little clocks. That's where I'm going to put the clock rate on. I'm using serial interfaces. You must put clock rates on them. Yes, the new routers do already come with clock rates, but you need to know how to put a clock rate on there, okay? If asked, doubtful that they will, but I'm going to go ahead and you need to learn how to do that. So I'm going to show you. All right, so we'll be putting clock rates on those particular interfaces. Those will be considered the DCE, right? Data Communications Equipment portion or side of the router. The other side would be the DTE, data terminating. But we all know that routers by default are DTE, is really our provider that gives us our clocking. But since in a lab environment, we're going to go ahead and use our own clock rates on the serial interfaces, right? The serial 010s. All right. Just to give you a little heads up, I've had this question asked of me before. What do these 3 slots mean? Well, the 0 means router, 1 slot, port 0. So router 0, slot 1, port 0. That's what that means. Okay. Back in the day when it was just a port, it would be just a port number, S0. Then they came up with a slot of port, then 10, and now you have router slot port. So that's what that means. That's all. All right, remember, these are modular routers. And you can see we're using straight through cables between PC to switch to router. We are using straight through cables. All right, that's how we're plugging them in. You see that you have already a green light, meaning you could have connectivity in here already. All right, but from the switch to the router, you do not, obviously, because the router's interfaces by default are administratively down. So that's why you see the red dots. Now, I get this question quite a bit also. Laz, why are you using the last fast Ethernet port on the switches? Because I want to. And I messed up here, so let me switch that one. Oops, no. I don't want to delete everything here. Let me just get rid of this cable real quick. All right. I know you can't see maybe what I'm doing, but you don't need to. All right. Let's click on the switch, F024 to F00. I do it for visualization purposes. That's all. And when we're doing this, when we go into CDP and stuff like that, you'll be able to see, hey, oh, CDP, that's my neighbor, 24, that's the switch. Without having to look at it twice, you can immediately see it, visualization. All right. So like down here, we have a Class C address for the subnets. Up here, you have a Class A, right? But we have a CIDR 30. Why? Because you only have point-to-point connection. You only need 2 IP addresses, so therefore we use a CIDR 30. Can you use IP unnumbered? Yes, you can. CCNA, you don't need to. All right? Why would you? It causes all sorts of issues. You don't want to use IP unnumbered. And you don't want to use a CIDR 31 either. Okay? You'll be using a CIDR 30. All right, so you don't want to go ahead and do that. So for the CCNA, we'll be using CIDR 30s. We increment by 4, so therefore this is the 4, 10.1.1.4, and 10.1.1.8. Okay? So in the PCs, I already put in the IP addresses. All right, as you can see here, another curious question everybody asks. Why do I use the first available for the IP address of the PC and the last available for the gateway? Because I want to. Again, this is my network. All right, because in a lab environment, when you have 30, 40, 50 students, however many students you have, or if you're doing a little group that you guys are studying together, you want to keep consistency, right? So the troubleshooting becomes a lot easier. You want to keep consistency in your own network also. So you need to know your network. You're going to document, but you need to have consistency. So when they tell you about a particular segment, you already have an idea in your head what the IP should be. All right, but from here to the end of this course, all right, we're going to use the first available IP address for the host and the last available IP address for your gateway. So in this case, in the 1.0 subnet is 1.254, and obviously this would be 2.254 with a 2.1, 3.254 for the gateway, and 3.1 for the PC. All right. So let's get into the basic configs. We'll go ahead and go into the 1841 router. And as you can see, we're already here in the CLI. And they're going to ask you that question. This is setup mode. And we're going to say no. Right? If I click in it, it may work. I'm going to say no. All right? We're going to do things from scratch. So we're in user mode. We type enable. Then config T. Now, I did hear from a student not too long ago that you can type config T. You can type config T on the actual exam. But if you can't, type configure terminal. All right? But I'm pretty sure you can. So we're going to give this host name. Whoops. Host name R1. All right? And then we'll put passwords. Enable. Password. Cisco. Enable. Secrets. Student. Now remember, these are your privilege mode passwords. This is not your enable password. These are your privilege mode passwords. You take to go when you type enable, you will be prompted for a password, and you have to put one of these passwords. Which ones do you put? Student, because student is secret. It overrides the plain text password, which is Cisco. So last, why do you put both? The one's going to override the other one because you need to know both. And documentation states that for older iOSs that did not understand how to use the secret, if you have to revert back to an older iOS, at least you have a plain text password. That's the answer to that question. All right. But if you want to go ahead and actually encrypt all your plain text passwords, past, present, and future, you type this command. Enable, or no, service, password, hyphen, encryption. All right. It's not as good as a secret student, which is an MD5 hash, really long, really big, a whole bunch of characters and symbols and stuff, where service password encryption is just numbers and letters, all uppercase. So it's not as strong. Can you decrypt both of them? You sure can. All right. But you can even do it within the router. All right. But again, that's not for us to care. All we need to know is that, hey, I can go ahead and at least put some security on my router so people just can't get into it without typing in some sort of password. All right, this is how you do that. The next one that we're going to do is the banner, Motd, and pound sign, welcome. Can I type? Well, yeah, welcome to R1. The trick here is, ladies and gentlemen, that whatever delimiting character you start with, whatever symbol you start with, you end with, whatever's in the middle is going to show up. So if you were to do something like this, welcome to R1 assistance call 555 and then the pound sign. What's going to happen is your message will end right here because that's the symbol you started with. So you cannot do that. Okay. So you cannot use the same symbol within the body. You cannot use the same symbol within the body. So if you know you're going to use the pound sign, use another symbol. Use a percent sign. Use the dollar sign. Use the @ symbol. Something different. All right. I'm just going to end it right there. Where is my pound sign? There it is. Okay. Banner, Motd. Da, da, da. All right. Now, by default, IP domain lookup is on. What is IP domain lookup? IP domain hyphen lookup. That's how you would turn it on if it would be off. All right. And what that does is if you type something that the router doesn't know it's a command, it will use a broadcast to locate DNS server to do name resolution. Now we're actually going to put it in. We don't have a domain, a DNS server, but I'm going to show you how to configure it anyway. All right. What you do is you do IP domain lookup, even though it's on. Well, I do it so I can show you. I'm going to do IP domain hyphen name, and we'll call it las.com. All right. And then you do IP name hyphen server, and you put the actual IP address of the DNS server. And let's say I'm my DNS server, right? Which I'm not. I'm just a PC. But this is how you would turn on name resolution. All right, with these three commands right here. You point it to a DNS name, and then you point it to the actual IP address of the server. If you don't do this, if you're not going to use DNS lookups, it would behoove you to turn off IP domain lookup by doing no IP domain lookup. All right. The reason being is if not, you're going to be there It's going to try and resolve and resolve and resolve, and then it just causes all sorts of chaos. All right. The next thing that we're going to go ahead and do, let's do our lines. Let's do our lines. Line con 0, password, Cisco, login. All right, that's the normal in your books, right? Line VTY. 0 through 4 is the default. We'll do 0 through 15. That allow you to do that. All right, but again, 0 through 4 are your default telnet lines. But every router has a different number of telnet lines that you can open up. Password Cisco. And obviously, the password won't be Cisco, right? And log in. And then you have your auxiliary. If you're putting some sort of modem that you're going to log into, line aux0, password Cisco, and then log in. All right. You can leave it like that. That's fine. All right. This is like a basic housekeeping on the router. But there's other things that you need to be aware of as well. All right. But we'll do that on the second router. Let's go ahead and save this. Now, in your test, you have to go exit, which takes you to privilege mode, and do a copy, run start, which is copying whatever you have in RAM to NVRAM, right? The startup config file, and just hit enter again. And then in your exam, you will have to do a show run, not a show start. All right. And then you can see everything that you've done. There's your service password -encryption. There's your enable secret. All right. And then we have the IP domain name, right? last.com, IP name server. All right. We haven't put IP addresses yet. None yet. And you can see already there's clock rates on there already, but we're going to put our own clock rate. All right. And there's your line con 0, line aux, and line VTY. All right, beautiful. So what we're going to do is now put in our IP addresses. Config T, interface, F0/0. I already know the interfaces that I'm working with, so I don't have to go back and look. IP address, 192.168.1.254, space, 255.255.255.0. We're going to put a description on this interface so we know. Description, connection to LAN, right? Nope, not right that. All right, and then no shut. That turns on the interface, and you get a 6-log message saying, hey, the interface is up. Now we go to interface S0/1/0, enter, IP address 10.1.1.5, 255.255.255.252. It's a CIDR 30. Remember, clock rate. They already have one. We're going to put our own clock rate for 123.123. That's our paychecks, correct? And then we turn that interface. Well, let's put a description on there. Connection to R2. Enter. And then we do a no shut. Boom. Let's do it the right way. Not the right way, the test way. Exit. And then copy. Run start. Enter. Enter. And then the verification command. Show IP int brief, which is show IP interface brief. And there you see that now you have your fast Ethernet 00. There's your IP address, and it's showing you that is up. We're not using the F01, therefore it tells you it's administratively down. We're using the 010, 10.1.5. It's telling you that it's down. Physical issue. Why is it down? Because the other side is not up. That's why. And again, the other interfaces we're not using, therefore it will show you that. The next thing you may want to do is look at your routing table. Remember, this command appears, show IP int brief. All right, that is going to go ahead and give you the summary of your interfaces. You can also type show protocols. All right, and that not only gives you a summary of your interfaces, but look what it also gives you, the mask. Okay, which is pretty cool. Not only you see that, hey, it's up. This is my IP address, and this is the mask that I'm using. So that's another one you can type. And the last one, obviously, we want to look at our routing table. Show IP route. All right, and we're connected directly to the F00 interface. It's not showing the S010 because again the other side is down. So that's router 1. That's router 1. And I'm just going to do, this is something you don't do on the exam, WR, which is write. Okay, so it writes it directly into the file. All right, just to make sure that everything is saved. One of the things you want to do when you're taking your certification, before you click next on that question, ladies and gentlemen, there is no going back. Make sure you verify everything, ping, and all that good stuff before you get, to the next question that they ask you. All right, so that's router 1. Let's go to router 2. Now here you can see we have 3 interfaces. We got the S011, the S010, and the F000. Okay, so let's do that one. I'm going to say no. All right, we're going to give it a name, obviously. We type enable. Config T. Got to be in global configuration. Host name, R2. All right, then we do the passwords. Enable password Cisco. Repetition means retention. I will say that. Enable secret student. And you can make up your own passwords. You don't have to use mine. Make it your own. Banner. Motd. Welcome. Not that. No, I don't like that. Welcome to router 2. You see it said, hey, enter the text message. Okay. Welcome to router. That's it over there. Welcome to router 2. R2, I should say. R2. Then, and end it. Boom. That's fine. Because I ended it too soon. It's giving me the message, hey, you didn't end it with the symbol you started with. So I finished the message, then I put the symbol. It's going to come out okay. We'll check it later. All right. Then we'll do the service. We forget that one. You can see you can do it out of order. Service password hyphen encryption. All right. Now, one of the things we want to do on this particular router, we want to make sure that we enable SSH as well. But to enable SSH, 1, you need to have a host name. 2, you need to have DNS turned on. IP domain hyphen lookup. And again, it's already on by default, but just to show you. And then it has to have a domain name. But since I already turned on DNS on the first one, I'm going to do it on all of them. IP domain hyphen name las.com. Right? And then IP name hyphen server. And then we're going to put 192.168.1.1 just for consistency's sake, if it was a real server. So now we have a host name. We have DNS turned on. All right. Now we can enable SSH. All right. When we get in there. So we're going to do, we're going to tweak the SSHs, right? And SSH is under the IP protocol. So we go IP and do question mark, right? There's your SSH right here. As you can see right there, IP SSH. So we're going to go SSH. And really the only things that they allow you to do is the authentication, retries, the timeout, and the version I really just leave alone. So you can do IP SSH, authentication, and I'm going to hit tab. All right, and that tab's your command now. And I'm just going to put 3 retries. All right, when you try and log, instead of telnetting, now you're going to be using SSH. I'm going to allow you 3 tries to try and get in to figure out the password. And then IP SSH, and then I'm going to do the timeout, right? And the timeout will use the maximum value of 120 seconds. All right, so we got that. We got that prepared. Now let's go ahead and put a username on here. Something we didn't do in the first router. Username, LDS, password. Oh, I'm sorry, privilege. I tabbed that out. I always misspell it. 15, which is the highest level privilege, administrative privilege. LDS privilege 15. Password 0, meaning plain text. Cisco. And you know what? Let's use a different password. Let's put here, instead of Cisco, let's put Apple. Okay, so username LDS privilege 15. Password 0, which means it's plain text. Apple. But the Apple is being encrypted by the service password hyphen encryption, which you'll see shortly. All right, I'm going to hit enter. Now I'm going to do the line con 0. Line con 0. Password. Cisco. Now, instead of just doing login, I'm going to do login local. what that's going to do is going to force you to put in that LD as username and password. Where in the other one, just log in, you just got to put in a password. Here is username and password using the local username and password. And then we'll do line BTY 015 password Cisco, right? But login local. Now we got to use the local login. Also, things we didn't do in the first one: exec hyphen timeout 0 seconds, 0 minutes, right? What that's going to do is your session won't never time out. You will always be logged in, even though you don't type anything for 200 years. So, lab purposes, fine. Real world, obviously not. And then the other one is login synchronous, right? Login, I tabbed it out. Login synchronous. And you know how those messages pop up? Say, hey, my interface is up. Hey, you made this mistake. All those messages pop up. It will not interrupt your typing. That's what this is for. Now, the last thing, because we are configuring this for SSH, right? We kind of tweaked it over here. You know, we set it up with the host name and the DNS name. So that's how it creates the keys. So one of the things we want to do is, well, before we actually do it here, we're going to exit one line. Forgot to do the keys. So we're going to do, I believe it's RSA. No, it's key. Ha ha ha. It's keychain is keychain RSA or word. Keychain RSA. You know, keychain. No, that can't be right. Keychain. Guess I changed it here. Okay, I'll play along. Keychain Laz. Now key identifier. Let's put 1. Enter. Then we go here. Set key string, no negate command, send lifetime. Exit from keychain. Accept. Set accept lifetime. Wow, they really changed this here. Okay, let's see. Hours, minutes, and seconds to start. Okay. I'm not gonna do that. Let's see how far we got. We can do this. Let me go back. Wow, they really changed this. Let me see if I maybe. Ah, no, this is where I made a mistake. Okay. So crypto, this is where I wanted to do. Crypto key generate. That's the one I wanted. There, RSA, and then 512 for default. That's the one I wanted. Crypto key generate RSA. Forget about the other ones. I was doing something totally different. All right. Crypto key generate RSA. Enter, and then 512. Don't keep the encryption low. The higher you go, remember, the more processor usage you're going to use. All right. But this is something that is required to do, right? The host name, the DNS name, tweaking, the SSH, you should do, and then the keys. You must do the keys. Then you can go to your line VTY 0 space 15, and you can see that SSH is enabled. And now, okay, you say transport input, and you got a choice. All right, you can let it do both, all telnet and SSH, or just SSH, no, or whatever you want to do. So we're just going to allow SSH on this particular router. We're going to do exit, and we're going to do copy, run, start. Now let's take a look at the run, right? Because that's what you do in your test. You got to look at the run. All right, what do we got here? We got the host names right there. Enable secret, enable password. You see, this is the service password hyphen encryption. You see here 5. That's That's this guy right here. This is the source password hyphen encryption right here. The 7. You see that it's not as strong as the MD5. Okay? Go down. There's your username. There's the SSH version, the domain name. Forget about this keychain. I should take that out. No keychain last. That's what I should do. Let me do that real quick. Oops. Up arrow. No keychain last. Do WR real quick fix there. All right, but we got everything going. So let's see how this works. Let's exit out real quick. See, R2 con 0 now available. Hit enter. Hey, LDs, Cisco. Boom. Again, okay, not valid. LDs. Oh, that's right. It's Apple. APPLE. There you go. Because I'm using the local logins. Cool. But we haven't done our interfaces. Show IP in brief. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. All right, let's go ahead and do first the S011. That's facing router 1. So config T or conf T or con T. All right, you can do that here in the lab. In the actual test, at least you can do config T. All right, don't try to abbreviate too much in the exam, but you can, from what I'm understanding. Config T interface S0/1/1 IP address. That's the other side. 10.1.1.6 255.255.255.252. Enter. Okay, and then we'll put a description. Connection to R1. Enter. No shut. No need for a clock right here. You see that the interface went to up. All right. And then we do I'm going to do an up arrow and just go to the interface and do whoops. Come on now. Up arrow. Go to the interface. S010. That'll be the next interface, right? Yeah, 10. And then we put IP address 10.1.1.9. That's the next network. 255.255.255.252. Enter. Description. Connection R3 or to R3, I should say. Okay. And then we do a no shut there. Then we go to the LAN interface. Int F0/0. Enter. Put the IP address, and this is the second network, 192.168. One too many numbers. 2.254.255.255.255.0. Description. Connection to LAN. Not last, LAN. All right, and do a no shut. So let's verify. Oh, I'm so used to doing that. Bad last. All right, copy, run start, enter. Show IP int brief. All right, up on our fast Ethernet right here. We got up. That's a good thing. We got 10.1.1.6, which is up on the other one, and this one's down because we haven't done the last router yet. So we're good for that. Also remember, show IP route. Now we're connected to two interfaces, our LAN and the first router, right? This is what our routing table is telling us right here, right? That's what the C means, connected. All right, let's go to the last router, and let's do that. I'm going to say no. Again, repetition. Nothing changes except the IPs in the name, right? Host name, R3, sorry. Enable password Cisco. Enable secret student. Service password hyphen encryption. Banner Motd. Welcome to R3, which is really not going to be what you type in the real world, but okay. Let's go ahead and do the DNS IP domain hyphen lookup, which is not necessary, but now you know how to do it. IP domain, if it will be off, domain hyphen name, is last.com. IP name hyphen server is 192.168.1.1. Enter. And since we're here, let's do the RSA keys. Right now it's crypto key generate RSA. Enter. Because I'm just going to keep it at the default 512. All right, let's tweak the SSH already with the authentication retries S3. IP SSH timeouts, the maximum of 120 seconds. So everything is already, keyed in. Let's go ahead and do the username. Username, Aldeas, privilege 15. I always tab that out because I misspell it all the time. Username, Aldeas, privilege 15. Password. Again, I'm just going to plain text. I really don't care because it's going to use 7. It's either 0 or 7. So might as well just let the source password encryption take care of that for me. Again, I'm going to use Apple. All right. Now I go to my line con 0. Password. Cisco. Login. Local. Okay. And the exec hyphen timeout, you can do it here as well. I'm just going to do it in the telnet lines. All right. And then I'll do the login synchronous here because that drives me crazy. Getting me interrupted. But you can do both commands in here as well. Line VTY 0 space 15. Password. Cisco. Login. Local. Come on. You can type last. Login local. And then we're going to do the login synchronous and the exec hyphen timeout 00, meaning 0 minutes, 0 seconds. Okay. First one is minutes. Next one is seconds. Keep that in mind. And then we're going to do the transport input SSH. So misspelled it. Tab it out. Input SSH. Forgot the S. All right. And we're going to do exit. We're going to save what we have. Copy, run start. And we'll view the show run as you would in your test. There's all the stuff right here. All right. Here's we go. As we go down. And, we have no IPs yet. No IPs. All right. But we got our banner. We got all this stuff. You can see, remember our banner? I think it was this one that we kind of whatever. But okay. All right. All right. We got everything there. Let's just put our IPs in. So let's put the LAN IP first. Config T. Int F0/0. IP address 192.168.3.254. 255. Oops. .0. Enter. Description. Connection. Oh, come on now. Connection to LAN. No shut. Boom. Comes up. See, when I did the login synchronous, it kept me here, even though the 6 log message came up. That's what's good. We'll be good about that. And then we're going to do the int S0/1/1 IP address 10.1.1.10. 255. Enter. Description. Connection to R3. No shut. Boom. Change state to up. Exit. Show IP int. Well, let's copy everything first, right? We don't want to lose it. Always copy. Copy, run, start. Enter. Show IP in brief. Up on the fast Ethernet, right? We got an up here, and we have an up here. That's good. So now our PCs, we got green lights all the way across. Looks good. So we get our PCs then, and we should be able to ping our own gateway 192.168.3.254. And we get a reply. That is awesome. All right. We get here. I'm going to ping 192.168.3.254. In and out, in and out, in and out. Let's try it again. All right, we have a funky cable. Losing it, bringing it back, losing it, bringing it back. Make sure we have the right IPs in here. Yes, we do. Okay. All right, we don't know why that's going on there. Ping 192.168.1.254. We got a good reply here. Boom, 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 boom. Awesome, awesome. All right, let me try this again. It's kind of upsetting. Let me open this up a little bit more here. Why did I get ping 192.168.2.254? Okay. Now I typed something wrong. Okay, whatever. So now we have connectivity. We have full configurations. But let's go ahead and test. We tested the username on this one. Let's try and telnet. Right? Let's try and telnet. Well, here we only turned on telnet in the first PC, or in the first router, I should say. All right. So let's go ahead and we're going to telnet to 192.168.1.254. Password Cisco. Boom, and I'm in my router. Show run. Oh, not here. I was doing enable, and then we have the secret password that we got to deal with, which is student. All right, and then we do a show run. All right, now what I want you to notice was that when I telnetted in, okay, it took me, user verification obviously, but I went into user mode. That's in this first router. Let's take a look at this router. All right, I'm here in the PC. Let's go ahead and telnet. Remember, here's where we created the username and we did a SSH. Let me open this up for you. It's being funky with me here. All right. Let's telnet, not telnet, SSH -L, which is the local, okay, login, -L, 192.168.2.254. Oops. Let's get this mixed up. LDs 192.168.2.254. There we go. Now, once the L is for the login, your login. LD is the IP. Obviously, is our gateway. Now it's asking me for the local password. All right, so it's going to be APPLE, Apple. But look where I'm in. Where in the other one I was in user mode. Here I'm in privilege mode already. Why? Because I'm using a username with level 15 privilege. Okay, user level 15 privilege. That's why I get straight into privilege mode. All right, and I can do my show run from there. So that's the difference. That is the difference. Okay, we'll test it from this one to make sure that it's working also. Remember, you always want to verify everything you do. All right, again, with this SSH -L for the login. LD is 192.168.3.254. Enter. Password is Apple. And I'm in. And that's it. I mean, the more you do it, the quicker you'll be. And if you want to get out, just exit. It takes you back to the PC. But the more you do it, the easier it's going to become. But you got to practice and practice and practice. So with this video, just keep going. Just pause it and keep going. Pause it and keep going. All right. That's it.